Hey guys, this is Eric Weingartner with Weingartner Racing. Woke up to a video today about me, so I thought I'd do a little response. So the video actually comes from, Data Void. That's why I don't have to say his name, but you get the idea. Anyway, here's the basics of it. I'll give a rundown for so you know what I'm talking about. Which I hate these back and forth type of videos, like someone's attacking other ones. I really don't care. But so like, why are you responding? I have no idea, really. Sometimes we all make stupid decisions. In all fairness, it probably wasn't the smartest move anyway, but bear with me. All right, so let's back up. I happened to watch a video from David Vizard, and he was saying why the AFR LS3 heads, enforcer heads, didn't make power. And the only reason why I watched that, because I don't want you guys thinking that I just stalk other ones, I don't. But the only reason why I watched that one in particular was because if you're to my channel, you'll know that I'm getting ready to dyno the AFR LS3 enforcer heads on an engine dyno, not a chassis dyno, versus an 823 LS head, ProMax small bore LS3 head, ProMax large bore LS3 head, Brodix BR3 head. So I'm getting ready to dyno those. So I was curious to hear, I guess, why he thought that it didn't make power. And I'm going to go ahead and save himself, which he probably, if he had actually tested the heads, he'd know this was probably the case. Because in one of the things that had happened whenever I tested the heads, so I tested the heads, I flowed them obviously. But the thing I did that I haven't seen him do is I checked the spring pressures. And the reason why it was trailing off the end had nothing probably to do with the cam, but more to do with valve float. And I was wanting to see if he would say that, if that was the issue, because when I checked the valve springs, they had 145 pounds on the seat. The BTR kit that the other had on the LS3 heads that it was compared against, those were like a 155, 165. I think it's valve float. But regardless, I'm going to find out when I test anyway. Anyway, to get to the point of this, because I was watching the video, I was wanting to see if someone else might have maybe mentioned it in comments. So what happened was I was looking at the comments, and I happened to see people, and I get it. People are huge fans of David Vizard, which is fine. Before I got a flow bench and started dyno testing, I was a huge fan too, and then I found the shortcomings. But anyway, so down there in the comments, someone had said, David Vizard dyno tests more than anybody out there. And that one instantly set me off. And I don't know why it should. It probably should be just let it go. He just didn't know. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. So I should have let it go. But it bothered me because I'm like, that's not even close to the truth. Because here's the thing you need to remember. And this is life in general. It doesn't even have to be about dyno testing and everything. If you ever think you're doing it more than anybody else, you're not. There's always someone that's doing more to you, and there's always someone doing less than you. Guaranteed. Doesn't matter. So anyway, me being the idiot, this was me being stupid. I'll admit to it. I was being dumb because I commented. I said, no, he does not do more dyno testing than anybody else. And the guy commented back, oh, yes, he does. He's got thousands of dyno videos. He does more than anybody else. He must have read the same books that I read when I was younger. But I commented, no. Warren Johnson and many others have done more dyno tests. For those who don't know who Warren Johnson is, I'm kind of surprised because you're on my channel. But Warren Johnson is an NHRA Pro Stock legend. He has the nickname The Professor. You get the nickname The Professor because he's good at what he does. And it's extremely good. And he's been doing this way into the 80s. He developed the DRCE1 head. That's the Pro Stock one that was used for Oldsmobile for spread port type heads. I shouldn't say he was the only one, but he brought him more in the forefront. The later ones that came with it. He also worked with the LSX stuff. I mean, he did a lot of stuff with GM. So it's not just, oh, he only did Pro Stock. Oh, no. But here's the other thing. He's very humble. So you won't see him bragging. I've never heard him bragging about anything, period. He finally put out a book a few years ago, which is a great read if you want to get into it. But yeah, he does more. So I knew for certain he did. And matters of fact, one of the guys that used to work for him and was dynoing, worked for Warren Johnson as a facility was a guy named Greg Anderson. Greg Anderson later became the NHRA Pro Stock champion many times over. Also, definitely more dyno tests than DV. But I mean, I could go on with several other people because you don't know what you have no idea about. So anyway, and that was really directed at one of the guy that was saying that David Vizard's done more dyno tests than anybody else, which I know is just not true. Because when you could even say, well, whoever's doing Formula One dyno tests, they've got to probably be doing more. Whoever's doing NASCAR ones, they're probably doing more. I mean, the list could goes on and on. And I know he claims he's done thousands and thousands. Let's say he does. There's no way he's doing as much as the others. They're doing it full time. They don't have time to write. It logic dictates that's not true. Anyway, I wasn't bashing David Vizard at all, just the guy claiming that he had done more. Then David Vizard pipes in, and this is where it went wrong. So he says, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact quote, and I can give screenshots, but why bother? I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I've done more cam testing than Warren Johnson ever has. His testing is but a cup of water in my bucket of water. And that's when my BS detector hit full-blown crap. Because one, we were talking about apples and you just brought in grapes. But whatever, because we said who had most dyno tests, not more cam tests. So apples and grapes. But regardless, I would still say still Warren Johnson. Or many others. Because I don't know how many camshafts that an NHRA Pro Stock team goes through, but in a year. But I'm going to guess it's a bunch. And remember, that's not all he did, because also he worked on the LSX stuff and many other projects, because he also had customers as well that did it. They were in the highest level where they're going to test more than one camshaft. So when he said that, I of course said back because that was it. I had enough. You've lost all credibility with me. I can't believe anything you say from this point, which I had somewhat of a hard time before anyway, but I was like, just let him do his thing, whatever. Yeah, I just, there's honesty. Just be honest. So, and I say that because even if you said, look, I've done thousands of testing, I've done quite a bit of testing, that's fine. You don't have to say that you're more than anybody else. It's or go that route. That was Warren Johnson, the professor. What's your nickname? Yep, that's what I thought. So yeah, I just lost all credibility. So my mistake also was still keep commenting, because what had happened is he said something else, but I said you have to know in your heart that that's not true. But he stick with his gut and just went full bore and like, no, it's the truth. So I left it at that, because my mistake one was that I commented. Shouldn't even have bothered. Let people believe whatever they want to believe. But still, part of me is like, someone has to call these guys out. It's not true. It just, time and day, it's impossible, okay? But anyway, this morning, so I got up and there was David Vizard. This has been weeks ago, by the way, and I'd kind of let it go because honestly, things are so busy in the shop with me working, I just don't have a lot of time. And anyway, I didn't feel like it even worthy of another comment on anything or even part of a video, because it was me being stupid for saying something. I should have just let people believe what they want to believe, I guess. So that was it. I'll admit that was me being an idiot, complete moron. Because my wife would say, "Why do you comment? You're never going to change someone's mind." Even as I'm producing this video, I know this as well. I'm probably going to lose some viewers as well, because even after that comment, I actually lost quite a bit. So I guess win for him on that, which I don't really. When I started this YouTube channel, I said the goal was I'd have a record for my son if he ever got into this. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you, but I'm doing it for me. So anyway, but back to the point. So I woke up this morning and then there was a video, and I don't follow him, not subscribed or nothing like that, but someone else had mentioned, is this you in here? Is he talking about you? And he didn't mention my name, and here I am mentioning his name. But I mean, it's obvious if you've known anything, you figured it out. So claiming stuff, he's like, what do you think I do? Well, I think you're a salesman. That's what you do. That's your primary job. You're a salesman. You sold books, and then you're trying to sell this CAM program. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sound like I'm a cruel dick, but whatever. Just might as well dig the hole deeper. I think you're a salesman. If the cam program was that good, the cam companies would have bought it from you. And they'd be using it. And don't give me that garbage that it's better and they want to keep selling cams. No, if they had the best cam, they wouldn't put everybody else out of business. They would buy your program. So, and if you're like, well, if you say I haven't done this many dyno tests, how in the world do I have these programs? Okay, I'm going to name 2 other programs. Okay, so one, Larry Moe, fantastic head porter. If he had a channel, it'd be then phenomenal. The guy is a genius. Most of you don't even know who he is. This is my point too. We watch so much of the social media, we don't even know what we don't know. Larry Moe is a genius. Anyway, he has a program called Pipe Max. It's really good about telling you what cross-sectional areas you might need in the port. And those aren't absolutes. For instance, Frankenstein, he actually did a video and he talked about CSAs aren't exact. It's not perfect. That's right, but it gets you close, I guess we would say. But anyway, he also has in this program where it estimates the camshaft specs. Um, David would probably say he's done more camshaft testing than Larry Moe, and he may be true on that one. But yeah, he's got a program, but that's not the only one. Performance Trends, that's one of my favorite programs. It has the software I use for my flow bench, but it also has engine dyno simulations and stuff. The owner, I think, is Kevin Gertigan. Guess what? He's probably never been on an actual dyno. Maybe he has. He probably hasn't done a lot of cam testing, but you know what he has? A program for telling you which cam you probably need. Yeah, he does. So that statement goes right out the window. You can just throw that right out there. I'm just going to spit that out. But yeah, it's not true. It doesn't. You can write a program without having done testing. You can just look at everybody else's testing. That's essentially what Kevin did. He also, I mean, his takes a lot to probably more inputs than you do. So if you're just doing testing, this is my testing from last year. These are actual dyno sheets. And that's the other thing. When you say you're doing dyno tests, you put up an infographic of a dyno sheet. There's a graph from the Superflow, but we'll get to the hard numbers. Put up real numbers. So whether they're high or low, at least people could see it instead of an infographic where it looks like it could have been done, maybe not done. So you do lose more credibility. But when you said the Warren thing, that was like, that's it. Okay. The one thing about this business it should teach us is we all need to be humble. So when I'm looking at who's the best, and I will tell you, if you're looking at me and you're like, man, you think you're the best at everything. Absolutely not. I end every video with, I'm no Superman. There are so many more people that are talented than me, that are better than head porting and can do better than me. Straight up telling you. And here's the thing. Many aren't even on YouTube or any social media. For instance, how many social media posts have you heard about from a guy named Slocko? Oh, you haven't, because it's pretty rare. The guy is fantastic and has lots of records. How about the head porter at Clements? I finally heard his name yesterday in a one YouTube video that someone else had done. Yeah, there are people that are phenomenally talented that never get mentioned on any social media platforms. They're just humble. They do what they do. They don't care what everybody else says. They just care about the data. What does the data say? So that's my point to the video. He did say a couple things great, which I'll say this. What he said great in the video was this. Leg speed, he's right. He's a hell of a guy. That guy is super nice and very knowledgeable. He actually helped out with the rings on the 540 dyno mule. It's dyno stuff's in here too. On point. And the guy's super nice guy, 100%. I can't wait to actually hopefully get to meet him and talk to him at PRI this year. The other guy, Darren Morgan, also a phenomenal head porter. And you probably could hear about him around. He's definitely somewhat involved in social media, but like barely at all. But super genius. He's actually, and I'll straight up tell you, when I started porting heads, it was him that I went through to learn more about, because I had read the books by a certain fella, and then I got a bench and realized that ain't jiving. And then I realized that ain't it. Someone's got to have the answers, and it was Darren Morgan. He was the one that first turned me on to it, to give me the more information than what you really need, not stuff that just sells books or sales stuff. So I know it sounds harsh, and I'm not trying to be, and I feel bad for this in a way, but I guess I probably should have just let it go. I should, but this is my opinion. You're welcome to it. I'm sure I'm going to get bashed back. I hope I don't lose subscribers, but again, I'm really just doing this for my son, so when I pass, if he ever chooses, he'll know everything I know have been in these videos. And it may not be enough for him, but regardless, I'll keep testing till I go broke. As you know, I port cylinder heads, and that's primarily what I do. I wish I had big-time sponsors that paid for all this stuff. I don't. I'm not a tech writer. You know why people aren't tech writers anymore? Because it didn't pay. Books don't exist. I mean, let's face it, it's all online. So you can get free content on YouTube. Why in the world would you buy a book? Matter of fact, I'm just trying to sell the actual dyno sheets from these. So these books are actually for sale, and they're hard to sell. And they're actually data, like real flow sheets and real horsepower numbers. So I guess I could say I'm a tech writer, but no, I'm a tech publisher. I just put out the numbers. You can do whatever you want with them. Anyway, I don't know how long this video went, but guys, thanks for watching and sticking around. I don't know when I'm going to make another video. I'll be honest with you, things in the shop are so busy. I was going to actually skip doing a video this whole week just because I need to get stuff done. Then I want to go broke, and I still got a lot to test. I know it's hard to see on this video, but right here is a set of Flowtech 375s. This one right here shocked the living shit out of me. The Lola Flow is the best 24-degree one I've had on my bench. Peak, not so much. I can't believe it. Be honest with you. That one shocked me. But anyway, stuff like this, and there's just a bunch of stuff. So, and no, I'm not watching episode 85. Guys, remember, I'm no Superman. I do not port cast iron heads. Stick around. You'll learn a lot of stuff here. Well, you'll get a lot of information. How you use it's up to you. Because remember, I don't know it all. I don't even pretend to know it all. So, guys, thanks for watching. You guys take care.